Welcome to the call, my friends. Marjohn, what's up, bro?
What's up, man? Nothing much. How's it going?
Oh, dude, it couldn't be better, man. I'm feeling phenomenal. Where you at right now? I know where you're at. Tell everyone where you're at.
I'm in North Carolina, but soon I'm gonna be out of here.
Where are you going, dude? I didn't know that. Oh, yeah. Are you going there for good, or you just visiting?
I'm never coming back.
Really?
No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, okay. So Marjohn's in North Carolina right now, but he's from Columbia originally. Family's from Columbia, and we're not talking about Columbia, South Carolina. We're talking about Colombia is where he's
Thank
going.
you.
What, bro? What part are you from again? Medellin?
So my mother, she's from Medellin, and then my dad, he's from a smaller city which is called Bucaramanga. It's kind of like a tongue twister.
Oh,
But I was born here in the States. So
okay. How do you say Medellin or Medellin?
Medellin.
Medellin. Okay, I didn't know that. That's good to know because I'm really gonna pick that up. Okay, dope. Okay, so anyway, he's from Colombia, born in the States, but that's where he's from. And I just want to jump in really quick about your background. And I love actually like hearing. Like it's so cool. We come from all these different situations, right? Like yesterday, we were on the call, and like it's like three random people from different parts of the whole country that moved to Nicaragua. And then it's like now it's you're in North Carolina, you have a completely different story, but all of us want the same thing, which is passive income so we can buy our time back and do our thing. So tell everyone really quickly, like what were you doing? And I'm sure you're still involved because it's a family business. Tell everyone what you were doing with the family business and what that's all about before April 25th or whatever when we talked.
So I started working with my dad when I was 16 years old in his mowing company. Did that for several years, wasn't the biggest fan of it. And through trial and error, I came across a different business model, which is, the traditional marketing agency. And so I did that business model for a whole year. I struggled through it. I was able to get some sales, make some money with it, but it really wasn't like taking off at the speed that I wanted it to. So I remember one day, and I'll go through this quickly, but I remember one day I was talking to a guy. I was actually pitching him on my services, and he said, "Hey man," and this is where it gets interesting. He's like, "Hey man, we're all tired of you guys." I'm like, "What do you mean by that?" "Yeah, we're all tired of you. You guys are hitting us up, cold email, cold messenger, cold DMs, and we just don't want anything to do with you guys." I was like, "Oh, that stings." But he was like, "You know what? I'm telling you this because you know what sells like hotcakes?" I was like, "What?" He was like, "Why don't you just sell leads?" I was like, "The hell? What is that? I've never heard of that before." And so crazy story. A couple days later, I talked to another guy, which I was not pitching him, but we were kind of like in the same group. And he said, "Man, worst case scenario, what I do when a client doesn't sign up is I just end up selling him the leads." I was like, "Okay, two people just told me that." And so I started doing my research. I went down the rabbit hole of rank and rent, and that's when I came across you. And yeah, I joined the program like in a matter of hours. It was insane. So here we are.
A couple things on that. Number one, when you saw the first video, be honest, were you like, dude, that's such a douchebag?
I couldn't agree more.
What a compliment, bro. I will take that right on the chin. The other thing is I remember us talking, but what was the specific angle you were taking with marketing? What were you selling? Was it SEO? Was it websites? Was it what was it?
That's a great question. So initially I was selling PR. So I would publish attorneys, real estate agents, insurance advisors. I would publish them on media outlets like Yahoo, Forbes, Entrepreneur. Thankfully, I had very good connections in that area. And then from there, I pivoted towards like the traditional SEO, and I was selling that service to restoration companies.
Okay. Why restoration companies and why SEO?
Well, SEO works for like service-based businesses. So I thought it was a good idea to go after that specific offer. And on top of that, I don't know if you're aware of this, but these restoration companies make bank. So
Yeah.
I figured that I was just gonna put those two together and make a lot of money with it.
No. So you did that for about a year. And how many, like, how big did you get? Like, how many SEO clients did you get? Like, or was it like one? Was it like you just tried to get?
I didn't have a lot of success, to be honest with you, with the SEO. I did have more success selling PR.
Got it. So what was your number one? And this is more for somebody that, like, again, they just heard about the concept of rank and rent, and they're like, yeah, that makes sense. To those people, what was your biggest draw to this model? Because there's a lot. You could mention a ton of them. And there, what was the one thing you're like, that's what's so sexy about that business model?
Oh, great question. Man, well, I'd say that when you're selling a service like marketing, the dynamic of the relationship from the start is completely different, because you're asking for money right away. And on top of that, you're selling a promise, not a result, right? As opposed to rank and rent, where you come to this person giving, not asking, right? So I was like, wow, this sounds very interesting, because I could just approach a business owner that wants something that I already have, right? As opposed to me asking for his credit card without even knowing him. And on top of that, when you're doing the traditional SEO or when you're doing the PR, it's like you don't know that you can deliver results in the first place, right? Like, you could do your due diligence before you reach out to these people, but you're not 100% sure you can deliver, you know? So like, those are the things that really just like sparked my interest. And that's what made me like gravitate towards like the rank and rent model, because it's beautiful. It's completely different. And like, I used to do cold calling, don't get me wrong, with my marketing, but like, now that I do cold calling with rank and rent, it's just so easy. Like, zero nerves. I'm super chill, because I know that I have something that they want, right? So I'm in a position of power.
I love that. I just, by the way, if you think I'm not paying attention, I just wrote down that, dude, you dropped a good line. You're selling a promise, not a result. Pretty dope line, bro. I'm impressed. Like, impressed. Nice work, dude. I'll give it to you. Okay. So here's a question for you. Okay. I remember when we spoke, I can't remember if it was April 25th or April 28th or April 23rd, whenever it was, last week of April, right? And we came down and we were on the phone talking about joining Flat Fee Mastery. And I remember that you were kind of like, you know, like anyone else, you just heard about me and you were kind of like, shit, man, I don't have a lot of money. But despite that, I remember that you were like, you had the confidence that you knew you were going to make this work. So what did you have to go through in your head? And I'm not just like applying this to only, you know, the course or anything else. I'm just like, just the principle behind it of, you know, for example, we had a guy that we talked to this week, and people say, oh, I'm sold on the business model. I'm sold on the business model, right? And then sometimes it comes down to it and they're like, well, I don't have any money. And it's like, it's not because you can't afford something. It's because you're choosing not to afford it. So you're not sold on the business model and you're not sold on yourself, because if you were sold on yourself, you know, you would make it work. And if you're sold on the business model, you know that the business model is sound. So what went through your head when you were like, ah, shit, like I'm doing the lawn mowing stuff and the whole thing, and that's the family business, and I don't know. I just found out about this guy a couple days. Here we are on the call. He's wanting me to spend money with him, and you know, you just sent it, dude. Like, what mentally was your thoughts? Were you like, oh, I know I'll get a deal? Like, was it just a confidence thing?
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely a confidence thing. And I'd say besides that, you told me something that was very interesting, and that's how you got me on the hook. Because as you all know, when you rank a site, it takes time. It's not something that's overnight. And then you, Nick, you told me, man, I know a way to pre-sell these sites, or get the credit card and then rank the site. I was like, okay, that's what I need. Because at the time I had the money to invest into sites and your program and things like that, but I couldn't wait around 3 months to then sell the site. You know what I mean? So that was like the first thing that really kind of made me go and make the decision to work with you. And on top of that, it's like I just can't waste time. You know what I mean? And like, that's what really just made me go forward with it. So yeah.
So tell me this, let's talk really quickly about like kind of where you're at now. So April 25th, whatever, the day before we talked, you were making $0 from marketing. You were making all of your money working in the family business. As of today, which it's been about 90 days, because like literally we did the math, it's been 90 days ish, like maybe a couple less. You are now at $4,000 per month in recurring flat fee deals. That's 4 deals. So basically an average of $1,000 a month. So you're averaging over a deal a month. So tell us really quick, like about that first deal. How many people did you have to get to the Zoom close to get to that first deal?
Just one.
So you closed the first one?
Yeah.
Damn, dude. I love that. So, okay. Next question. Of the, what niches are you in? Like, I'm guessing you're in concrete. If I had to guess, you're probably in spray foam. What other ones are you in?
I'm doing concrete mainly, and then I'm also doing artificial grass, which I just started getting into that niche like a week ago.
Cool. It's a good one. I really like that industry. This is my thoughts on that industry. Is it getting less popular or more popular?
Artificial grass?
Yeah, of course it's getting more popular, right? Like, it's like this. It's like, do you think that electric vehicles are getting more popular or less popular?
More.
Duh. Like, look at those gas prices, right? So I feel like that artificial grass, I can see the trend. And I haven't even looked at this, but I bet if you looked at Google Trends, I bet you're going to see this huge uptick over the last couple of years. It's getting way more popular than it was. It used to be like kind of like a ghetto thing that you threw out in front of your trailer. Now it's like super, dude, I have it all over my house. I don't have any real grass.
Right. I was talking to a business owner and he told me that in a couple years, I think it's Arizona or some other state, it's going to become mandatory.
Oh, that's amazing.
So there you go.
There's a little tip, guys.
That's good for us, man.
Let's go and smoke. Let's go. I want to see a lead gen site in every suburb of freaking Arizona. All of it. All the Phoenix, all of what's down there? What's below?
Mexico?
Tucson.
No.
Yeah, Mexico. Yeah, no, Tucson. Yeah. So let me ask you this question. Once you got in and you started like just going through the process, were you nervous to make those first couple calls because in your head you were maybe thinking, well, this, I used to do cold calling for PR and used to get nervous for that. Like, did you have any nerves or is it because of the product you were selling, you didn't feel any nerves from day one? Or was that like a natural process that you had to kind of get used to?
Well, I think there's always going to be some degree of nerves when you're doing a phone call, especially a cold call. But in comparison to doing the cold calling before to now, when I do have something that the business owner wants, is completely different. But something I want to say is like, doesn't matter how nervous you are, like just pick up the phone and make the call. Like, it doesn't matter. Even if you completely fail, you're still going to get those reps in, right? And you're still going to, go into a situation where it's difficult, but like that makes you become better at it, right? So like, it doesn't matter how much nerves you have, just do it. Just full send it, man.
Yeah, I love that. And that's kind of what we talked about. Like on the call last night, I asked Megan and Tim and TK, I was like, guys, what's your advice? Like they got a deal in like 5 days. And I was like, what the hell? Like there's people that have been in the group, in this free group for 5 months and they're not doing anything. And they got one in 5 days and you got 4 in 90 days. Like, and I said, what's your advice? And all of them were like, well, there's not really any advice. You just got to do the thing. Like we've talked about it, and I love saying that to people when they join my program. I'm like, look, there's good news and bad news. Here's the good news. Good news is you have all the missing pieces. Here's the script. Here's the ad copy. Here's the whole thing that I've done to build a 7-figure company. Bad news is you got to do the fucking work now.
Yeah.
So your excuse is you can't kick them down the road any longer. Like,
right. Yeah, and I feel like a lot of people, like, especially when they go into like a new course, they kind of have like this analysis paralysis where they just start going through all the modules and the videos, and they want to stay in their comfort zone. They want to sit down and just drink their coffee and watch all the videos over and over and take notes, but they don't want to do the actual work, right? I remember before I had a mentor and he told me, man, don't go through all the content, just start implementing, right? And so that kind of stuck with me. And when I got into your program, the first thing I did was like Google Ads, set up, boom, 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 got a lead, called the business owner, because that's what's going to make me the money. Yeah, it's great to practice, it's great to rehearse, it's great to go through the training, but like you still have to take action. So that's the first thing you have to do is just go for it.
Yeah. Isn't it dope that like, and it's not every time, I don't want to like make you guys think that like, I mean, we do a damn good job of training how to get the ad set up and everything else, because I've done it. I've spent $1.2 million, but there's going to be times when you don't do the research correctly, or you miss something, or sometimes everything looks good and the ad takes a little while to take off. But isn't it crazy when you set up that first ad and the phone rings and you're like, holy shit, did that really just work?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I remember the first time I had the lead come in, I was sitting in church in Alabama and I was like, no way, no. And my wife does not feel good about me leaving. Like, she's like, you don't leave church for work, blah, 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 right? It's Sunday type of stuff. I was like, I'm leaving. I'm going out in the hall and I'm taking this call. Sure enough, dude, towing lead. I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. That was so freaking fast. So yeah, it's crazy, dude. Like, next thing I want to ask you on that first deal, how many leads did you have to send? I want to talk about the first one because the next, and well, I got another question after that, but how many leads do you have to send?
Well, in that market, when I set up the ad, I actually got in touch with one of my friends. He does concrete here in New Bern, which is 20 minutes away from my house. I told him that because we're buddies, I'm going to send you a couple leads, you know, all the shebang. And he was down for it. And I remember I sent him like 4 leads and he completely ghosted me. A terrible friend. So then I was like, okay,
Really?
let's just find somebody else. Yeah, I know. It was crazy. But long story short, I end up finding somebody else. I send them 3 leads in 2 days and I closed them on the 3rd day. So it was very exciting, man, especially because it was the first deal.
Dude, that's why I always say, you guys are like, oh my gosh, money loves speed, bro. That's so dope. Like, and again, I've said this a lot of times too. It's not, I think a lot of us that have never done deals and never done this process where we send results in advance, we think that like, if we talk to somebody today, we have to know them for this certain period of time before they'll do business with us, right? Here's a good example. Marjohn, from the time you joined the free group until you joined Flat Fee Mastery, like how long was that? It wasn't very long, was it?
It was not even 24 hours. It was about 12.
My point. So it's not, and here's the key. You guys need to freaking remember this. It's not about the time. It's about how much value you deliver within the time frame. So the reason that you were able to join Flat Fee Mastery is because you got in the free group, you started consuming content, and it was content that you were already looking for. You got a whole bunch of content. You're like, dude, this guy fucks, dude. He knows what's up. We got on the call and it just made sense. Same thing with your jobs. You called somebody, that guy, not your buddy, the buddy that screwed you, but the other one. Was he paying for Home Advisor, Angie's List, or Google Ads, or Craigslist, or Facebook Marketplace? What was it?
He was just paying a marketing agency to help him with his site. And that guy had been burned before because he signed a deal or a contract with that marketing agency for a whole year. And his site is not even on the first page, which in New Bern, it's a market of, well, it's a population of 30,000 people. So it's super easy to rank a site. So he's being completely screwed over. So I think that's what kind of motivated him to work with me.
And is he
or one of the reasons.
Is he still on the hook with those guys?
He's still on the hook. Yes, he is.
That sucks, dude. You know what you need to do? And this is what I've been talking to people about is like, I'm not an SEO guy. I don't want SEO. But if you have a strategic partnership where you can make money, you need to go to that guy and be like, yo, once your contract's up, let's do like a 90-day deal and I'll get you ranked. And then you just outsource it. He'll be so blown away. He'll be
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Definitely.
Next question. From your first deal to your second deal, how long was that time frame?
Off the top of my head, I would say about 2 weeks, maybe three. Because one of the weeks I went back to Virginia, I was helping my brother with the mowing company, so that kind of took me back a little bit. But yeah, I think it was less than a month. That's for sure.
That's what is so interesting is like, guys, if you guys can just get to your first deal, that is such an important thing, because when you can get to your first deal, this mental block that you have that, oh, this it looks like a good idea. Marjohn's doing it. Yavet's doing it. I'm just thinking of random people. Josh is doing it. But everyone for some reason thinks they're different, right? They always have their but then once you get that first deal, you're like, okay, this does work. Now I'm just going to go do it again and again and again and again. And then you start doing the math, like, because dude, like just with you, bro, you get 6 more deals. Like as of right now, you're going to be at 10K before the end of the year, even if you just continue at the pace that you're at.
Yeah, I'm getting one tomorrow for sure. So we're going to be at 5K by the end of the week.
It's crazy, bro. Like it's insane. And you know what's dope about this? And I know we know this, you know this, I know this, but just to remind everyone, like with that PR stuff, I mean, I don't know how the packages work. Maybe it was a couple month deal. What's so cool about these deals is we get paid.
No, it wasn't.
It was a one-time shot.
It was a one-time shot. Okay.
These deals, guess what? We get paid every single month. Whether you're in Medellin, drinking freaking who knows what, smoking who knows what with who knows who, or doing whatever you're doing down there. Not sure, but hopefully I'm with you. Or you're in North Carolina or Virginia doing lawn mowing, you're still getting paid. Isn't that the best feeling in the world, dude?
Absolutely. And it's amazing because once you close the deal, you just have to make sure they're getting leads, right? And that's it. Because if you partner up with the right person, you know they're going to close deals, right? So it's just a matter of you fulfilling the service, generating calls for them, and you have nothing to do. Let's say one of my clients, we've been working for like a month and a half. I only talk to him when we have to renew the payment, and he's happy. Like he's actually a month to month, and he signed up for the second month because he was super happy with the service, right? But we barely spoke throughout like the first month. So it's beautiful. Like you're getting paid and you're not doing much.
And that's so much different than what like with PR or SEO. Like that's like, hey, if you're not talking to them this week, somebody else is, and you're losing them. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Because listen, Nick, the deal is completely different, right? Like how it's all structured with this business model is like, it's very black and white. It's like, I'm going to send you leads and you're going to pay me. That's it. As opposed to like SEO, where it's like, oh, you have to explain the strategy and you have to, talk about how we're going to rank you and how we're going to do yada, yada, yada. Because again, you're selling the promise. You're not selling the result, right? So it's just completely different now because you get leads, I get money, and that's it. Super easy transaction.
It's a very binary. It's black and white, right? And I would love that because it's like, there's no in between. If I give you leads, you're going to pay me. If I stop giving you leads, you're going to stop paying me. Even if we got a contract, like cool, contract's dope. You stop giving leads. How do you expect them to pay? Right. So yeah, I do want to ask you, because as we were talking about it and I was like, dude, isn't it cool getting money when you're doing, in Colombia or and dude, it kind of sounds so, not kind of, it sounds so scammy. Like it sounds so fake. Like we're just like this big bullshit fest. Like, did you feel like this was fake before, like when you were doing the rank and rent, you're talking about, or you're seeing like Borjan's doing 30K or Jerry or Linda or Eugene and like these people are posting deals? Be honest. Did you feel like part of it was like just a big fluff and it wasn't real? Or you were like, okay, I could see that?
Absolutely not. And the reason why is not because of the testimonials, but because of you, dude.
Okay.
Like,
no way.
Believe me, I've seen, why? Because of your personality, man. You can sense that shit. Like I've seen so many testimonials, like guys, I've been in so many different programs. I've had so many mentors and they all have a million case studies, right? And same as you, but like you're just different than all the other mentors. So I think that's why.
So what you're saying is like, even despite the douchebag vibes, we're chilling.
Oh no, dude, I enjoy the douchebag vibes. That's what made me join the program, bro.
I'm just kidding, bro. Hey, it takes one to know one, dude. Likes attract likes. So, no, dude, I just think it's cool. Like, and dude, I want you, actually, I'm going to ask you this, like right before we got on this call, what was the one thing, like we got on like 3 minutes before, because you're about to go to the gym, which by the way, thanks again for doing this. I know you're about to go do the gym, but what did I tell you? Like I said, what was the purpose of this call? Like, no, I'm not going to like, what did I tell you? What did I tell you the purpose of this call? The only thing I care about getting out of this call. Do you remember?
Dude, I can't remember.
Did I tell, like, I just want to make sure, like, so I said well, do you remember what I told you? It's not this, it's not a specific thing. Like, that's not the reason. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
What did I say?
You said that it wasn't a plug for your program. It was just for us to get on and chill for a bit.
Yeah, I said it's not a plug, dude. I said my only goal is that we get on here and somebody is in a similar situation. Somebody relates to you, somebody, whatever, and we give them one nugget that they can go and do a deal and they can make money from. So you were right on. I just
my bad.
Yeah, you're good. I just wanted people to know, like, guys, that's the reason that I do these is I understand. And for the, I don't know, 18th time, I probably said that this month, I am doing this right here. This call is me giving free leads to the people that are watching this or that will watch it, right? We're giving nuggets for free. I'm not charging for this. And this is amazing stuff. Like, you're giving great nuggets. People are like hearing your story and getting inspired. And I'm not charging, but I'm doing the exact same thing. I'm giving free value. And I know how this works out. You give enough free value of what people want, they will buy. So I don't need a plug. This isn't a plug. We didn't have, you need to insert it here. It's like, dude, let's just get on and share something that people can actually benefit from. So that's what I want to ask you really quick as we end is, dude, somebody that's just like maybe hearing about it, kind of in your shoes, right? Like, they know that they want to make money online. They love the idea of the business model. What advice would you give them? Just like, if you could go back 90 days, is there any advice you would give yourself 90 days ago? You've done a damn good job, but is there any advice you would tell yourself 90 days ago?
Well, I could say a couple of things on that. The first thing I would say, which might sound a little bit cliche, is just like full send it. Like, that's what I did. I met Nick the day before. The next day we were already working together, right? And the reason why was because I was hungry for knowledge. I was hungry to understand the business, right? And so the first thing I could say is, like, just take action, like, as quickly as possible. And then on top of that, like, probably getting a little bit technical is, I think the key to this business model, in order for you to grow it very quickly, is to sense the business owner from the first call. And I don't know, you can correct me if I'm wrong, Nick, but that's what I feel, because it can turn into the biggest waste of time, like it happened with my buddy, where you do the initial agreement that you're going to send them leads, but then all of a sudden you do all this work for them, not to mention you invest all this money, and they just completely ghost you, right? So I feel like it's worth you doing some pullbacks on the start, on the first call, right, on the prospecting call, doing a bit of pullbacks and just making sure that the business owner is going to be the right fit. Because if they agree to get free leads from you and they also have the right mindset going into it, you're going to close that deal. Right? Because here's the thing. Nick has said it a million times, and I'll say it once. It's like, you get the deal. Like, the sale happens when you send the free leads, right? And I say this based on experience, because guys, before I used to do the traditional marketing, which is so hard to get the deal, you get so many objections, you have to do all these rebuttals, you have to do so many things in order to get the sale. Like, this is so easy. It's just like the leads are going to make the sale for you. And once you send a screencast, you do all these things. And once you get on the call, it's like, I'm just here to collect the credit card. Yeah, we'll kind of recap, everything, yada, yada. But like, I know I'm going to get the deal. Like, that's how I feel personally. I don't know how the rest of the people feel, but like, that's how I feel. If I get them on the Zoom, I know I'm going to close them. Like, if they went with me, if they followed me from the start, leads, screencast, all that stuff onto the Zoom call, those people are, in my opinion, completely sold. Now, you won't get the sale if you're a complete idiot on the call, but as long as you get on the call and you're yourself and like you do a semi-decent job, you're going to get the deal, right? Yeah. So to recap, just make sure you find the right business owner because it's really going to pay off in the long run. I hope that helps.
Yeah, it totally does. And something you said, I actually, while you were saying that, I had a comment, or I had something I wanted to end with, and I wrote this word down, and then you said something that even like reiterated that, which is, dude, it's so freaking cool to watch, like just how much more confident you are especially with this subject matter. But when we talked, it's not like you weren't a confident dude, but like now, like you just said, you're like, I know I'm getting that deal. You never would have said that 3 months ago, but now you've done it. You followed the process. And guys, if you're somebody that has struggled with confidence or whatever, and I think all of us, we can say we don't, whatever. I think most people do in some capacity. You guys want to freaking like increase your confidence? Go get some deals, man. Holy cow. I love watching people like, I got to figure out a way to do side by sides of like when we do the call and when we talk now. And it's like, it's night and day.
That would be dope.
Yeah. It's like night and day, how authoritative you're talking. You're like, it's like, you've done it 1,000 times. Yeah. You've done it 4 times, but you've been doing it 90 days, bro. But I can just tell. And the way that you believe it, the way that you're saying it, the way that you're like articulating it, as a business owner, I'm going to be like, dude, this guy knows his shit, man. You know what I mean? And you're not faking it.
Yeah.
It's dope.
Go look at the stats. Go look at the stats. You see the best salesmen in the world. They say that, probably their best closing rate has been 60%. And now we have Nick here that was all upset because he lost 1 deal. Like, come on.
I was going to say, I have to throw in a caveat. The difference is, though, is I kind of sandbag the numbers because we get to send the leads in advance, right? Which all of you guys are welcome to do the same thing. That's what we're teaching here. But we do. We're sandbagging the numbers. You should expect to close the deal. If you send the leads, if you do the screencast, if you talk to the business owner, if they're paying for ads, you should be pissed off if you don't get the deal.
Yeah, all the way. All the way.
You shouldn't be like, oh, I didn't get that one. No, you should be pissed off. What did I do wrong? What didn't make sense about that, Mr. Business Owner? Like, just, you should be beside yourself that didn't go through, because this process freaking works.
And guys, probably the timeline is a little bit longer from the point where you get the business owner and you get the credit card. But trust me, it's a lot easier for you to go through that timeline of sending a couple leads, doing the screencasts, getting on the Zoom call, and getting the deal, as opposed to you talking to 8 people every single day and getting no after no after no, right? Probably, yeah, if the timeline is a couple hours, you get on the call, or 30, 40 minutes, you get on the call, they say no, and you move on to the next person, right? But like, the cool thing about this is like, when you're going through the process, like, you're already eliminating all these objections along the way, right? Like, all of the objections when you're doing the traditional sales calls are like, they're going to give you all the objections on the call. But like, most of the objections, if not all of them, are eliminated throughout that process, right? So you're filtering out all the objections. And once you get on the call, you close the deal. That's it. Like, I've closed 4 deals and I've only had 5 sales calls. And I only got 1 objection, which was, I want to talk to my partner. But besides that, like, no, they're just like, yeah, let's do it, man. Let's go for it.
Know that you fucked that one up. You should have eliminated that before you got on the call.
Exactly. That was my bad. Like, if I would have anticipated that objection, I would have gotten the deal, right? But it's like, again, you're going through this process and you're not only like building that trust, but you're eliminating all these objections so you don't have to deal with them on the call, which sucks.
Yeah. Dude, I freaking love it, man. I love hearing these stories. I want to jump in really quick so you can go to the gym. I want to see if there's anyone, any comments, any questions. Guys, if somebody does have like a quick question, I'll give you like 30 seconds to ask it. If you don't, though, just for sake of, I messaged Marjohn like 5 minutes before. I'm like, bro, let's do this. He's like, I'm going to the gym. I'm like, no, you're drinking your pre-workout. We're doing this call right now, dude. So I appreciate you, dude. Chris said, it's just a comment, but he said, learn from the mistakes and improve. You'll get it dialed in. Just show empathy and resonate with them, but first study and understand their industry and never give up. Yeah, and I think that's what I love about like going into these industries where we just know it's going to work. We know that concrete works. We know that spray foam works. We know that artificial grass works. We know that you name it works. And so I think it's a big shift from what a lot of these other programs, a lot of these other groups teach, which is you got to find these crazy niches of like these what do they call those people that read like your future and shit like that? What's that called? Yeah, you not like whatever, like they look into like a ball and shit, whatever. Like,
yeah,
like something like that. And guys, I know there's money. That's what's so cool is like I know there's money in tons of niches. But if you're just starting, my advice for you is go pick a niche that we've talked about 1,000 times in here. Besides tree service, I think that's getting a little saturated for lead generators. Go pick a niche. Go build a site, go follow the process, and go get some freaking money. And you're going to see that all you have to do is do that 100 times. Marjohn, you got to do that 96 more times. I know that kind of sounds like a lot in some ways, but like if you just double the size of your deal to 2K, you do that 40 more times, you're at 100K.
Let's go, baby.
100K, bro. And like, that's like some gangster money. Like that's like legit. That's not like, oh, I made 10 grand's a dope place to start, but you make 100 grand, like, that's fucking sick, dude. Like that is unreal. And you literally have a clear path to get there. You double your price to 2K, you go do it 40 times over the next year and you're at 100K.
That's the goal, man.
Nothing else to say, dude. So I don't think anyone else said anything. Everyone's telling me it's a fortune teller. Yeah, that's what it was. I never claimed to be the smartest guy. However, I know how to make fucking money. So Marjohn,
let's go.
Any last parting words that you want to share with me? When do you go to Colombia, by the way?
I'm going to Colombia next week, man. I'm almost out of here.
What day?
Next Friday.
Go. And how long are you going to be gone?
For a month.
How many deals are you going to close there? Are you just kind of like just going to chill while you're down there?
Oh, no. Hell no. I'm going to be on my A game.
Dude, I want to see some like selfies or some snippets of you closing a deal on a rooftop in Colombia.
Oh, hell yeah. I'll keep you posted on that.
Yeah, let's do that. That'd be dope. I think people would enjoy that. So anyway, guys, thanks for being on, bro. I know you and I are talking tomorrow. So thank you for jumping on last second and I'm out. See you guys.